Hi everyone, John Cottrell here, and this is Soft Flow. This is a 60-minute gentle yoga practice. So glad you can join me. So as you're setting up, let me just go ahead and talk about what we're going to be doing today and the props that we're going to be using. So in this Soft Flow class, we're going to be doing deep lunges and leg strength. So I have a couple of postures I really like to do just to focus on our legs. Stability, strength, balance, and a little bit of stretching there too. And so for our props, I highly recommend something soft because we're going to be kneeling, and so you may want to have a nice blanket that you can kneel on or a towel that's folded up just to protect your knee joints. And it's also nice to sit on too. So we got our blanket, and then of course some yoga blocks. If you happen to have some yoga blocks, these will also come in handy. They can come in handy, or some stackable hardbound books, and then maybe a big pillow if you like. I don't typically integrate the pillows into the practice, but it's just something nice to have, especially for Shavasana at the end of your practice. Alrighty, I think that is it. So let's go ahead and begin in seated. So do find a comfortable seat that might be on your soft pillow if you're using that, or your folded blanket or towel. I like to cross my legs, and you're welcome to do the same, but you're also welcome to extend your legs or extend just one leg, whatever's most comfortable for you in a sitting position. This could be on the floor. You can also sit in a chair temporarily, or if you are on the floor, maybe you want some support, so sit up against a wall if you'd like. And once you've found your seat, just sit up as tall as you can, a nice lengthened spine. And we'll start with a few deep breaths. Just breathe in deeply and freely through your nose. Then exhale completely through your nose or out through your mouth. If you exhale through your mouth, maybe you'll exhale with a nice sigh. Let's do a quick check-in with your own body. Notice how you're feeling at this moment. What tends to be a little tense or stressed, a little bit uncomfortable. And maybe your practice today will help to loosen up some of those binds that we tend to hold in our own bodies, stretch those parts that feel a little tight. But mainly just being present, letting go of the things that are going on outside of you so that you can pay attention to what's going on inside of you. So just continue with a few more slow breaths in and out, just to really tune into your body. And this can be done with your eyes opened. Maybe you're gazing forward or downward, not really looking at anything. Just a gaze, softening the eyes. Or you might have your eyes closed, really paying attention to what's going on inside of you, particularly your breath. And then just continue with slow, steady breaths, starting to feel an ease in the body. And this is something that we try to maintain throughout the entire practice, this sense of ease and calm. We set the tone here in this moment and see if we can just maintain that throughout the practice. Even though we'll be moving into postures, we do so slowly. We take our time, use props to support our bodies, modify whenever we need to, again, so that we can maintain the sense of calm and ease. As you breathe in, just feel the lifting and lengthening of your spine. Breath rising now, perhaps to fill up your lungs. So this might be a deeper breath in. And as you exhale, just draw your navel inward toward your spine, a light engagement here in your center body. It doesn't have to be too strong, just an awareness. Again, an inhale, sitting up a little taller as you're able. Feel the expansion of your lungs. That slow and controlled exhale, drawing navel in, that light contraction of your abdominal muscles, connecting to your center. Do that a few more times on your own. I like to call this our breathing meditation. Let's take 3 more breaths while we sit in stillness. Soon we'll add a very simple movement, moving with the breath. Let's begin our moving meditation. Again, very simply, And inhale to extend your arms out across the room and all the way up into the air. Nice lengthening, a stretch quality here. And exhale and extend your arms out across the room as if you're going to touch the walls on either side of you. Bringing your arms back down by your side. Let's do that again together. We'll inhale, let's reach out, all the way up, reaching energetically through your fingertips. Nice. Exhale, extend your arms out with some energy and effort. Arms come back down. Now just continue to breathe and move at your own pace, that same simple movement of arms reaching out and up and then back down. And really experience the breath moving your body. The breath is moving you. As you're moving in slow motion, just noticing the sensations that are arising in your body, what it feels like to have your arms going up and down, how it involves your shoulders, the effort of reaching and extending, energy in your hands and fingers. Feel the lengthening through the sides of your body. With each breath in, you're still growing tall through the spine. When you exhale, the arms come down, but remember to draw belly in to help secure your body as it's in motion. Go ahead and finish the breath that you're on and take 2 more breaths. Still moving at your own pace. No need to rush. Whenever you're complete, you can just let your arms rest down by your side, in your lap, returning to the full richness of the breath. Nice. While still seated, just going to bring your hands behind you, just propped up onto your fingertips. With your hands behind you, it brings the arms back and roll the shoulders back gently. This is a nice way to really help open and expand through the chest area. You're going to tip your chin up just a little bit, not to strain the neck, just to tip the chin up to open up the heart space. From here, just inhale and just fill up your lungs. You might even feel that expansion and even a stretch quality across your chest from shoulder to shoulder. When you exhale, draw belly in. Again, that awareness of center. When you inhale, just a little press of the fingertips into the ground, bringing energy into your arms. Breath rising, filling up your lungs. Exhale, draw belly in, and as you're able, a little squeeze of the shoulder blades together behind you. Trying to activate your upper back body. Upper back muscles, engaging there for a bit more support, just as we support ourselves by drawing belly in. That's the low section of our torso in front, and then we get the engagement and support from upper body in the back. 3 more breaths. And after your 3rd breath, just lower your chin, looking forward. Walk your hands toward yourself. Bring your hands back into your lap and just notice that change, how the activated arms are now shifting to relaxed arms. Maybe take a couple deep breaths to experience that relaxation like a wave moving through you. That's something we can always pay attention to, especially in a yoga practice, is how we might be engaging, flexing muscles, for example, and then that flip side where we take that tension away from the body and relax. All right, let's uncross the legs if they are crossed. Let's reposition the legs and feet so we're in Cobbler's pose. So the soles of the feet touch, knees out to the side here, bent, and perhaps some books or blocks for support of the legs right here for our hip opener. Just hold on to your shins or ankles so you can sit up nice and tall. Excuse me, and we'll inhale and just feel that extension of the spine, breath rising upward. Exhale, draw belly in and start to hinge forward just a tiny bit, not much. Again, another breath in, lengthening, feel like you're lifting up through the spine and torso at this new angle. Exhale, draw belly in for support as the body is in motion, hinging forward a tiny bit more. So just, again, just taking our time, moving slowly, gently, never forcing or pushing ourselves into this pose or any pose. Now just find that spot where it feels good. You can hold here for a good period of time. In a way you feel comfortable here. Nothing feels overstressed or stretched, but just right. This is a hip opener, so you might feel sensation in the inner thighs. You can also make this a back stretch by dipping the chin down, looking down, and even folding a little bit more, feeling the curvature of the spine. Wherever you are, continue breathing deeply, maintaining that sense of calm and ease. You'll know with the breath can be a good sign. These deep breathing efforts will suggest to you perhaps that you are in a calm mode. Let's take 3 more breaths. After that 3rd breath, if your back is rounded and your head is looking downward, just tip the chin up a little bit, slightly looking forward. That will start that re-extension of spine. Start to hinge your way up. You might even use your hands on the floor to help support the body in motion, lifting yourself up until you're nice and tall in your seat. Pause here for a couple breaths. Deep breaths. If you're using those books or blocks as props, let's just set those to the side. And just maneuver yourself slowly and carefully to hands and knees. Here's where you might want to use your blanket or folded towel for added support, particularly for your joints, your knees and your wrists in this case. So we're going to be here. Or you can always change this posture. Since our hands are in a forced flexed position, some things you can do. Let me just quickly show you. You can come to fists, just so the wrists are long here rather than flexed. Hands can even be out in front of you. That takes some of that pressure off of the flexed wrists. Or even come down to elbows while doing this cat-cow flow. Here we go. Inhale, just look up or forward, a little arch in the back, creating a bit of a back bend. Exhale, round it out. Tuck chin in towards chest. Feel the curvature of the spine. Belly button pulling up towards spine. As you inhale, feel the pelvis tip back. There's the arching of the back. It's shaped like a U or a bowl. Looking forward, heart opened. Exhale, round it out. Just continue moving, flowing, breathing at your own pace. I like this movement because it really helps to open the spine. Sometimes we can be so stationary, especially if you're sitting for a long period of time, and how the spine kind of collapses on itself. In our yoga practice, we try to find length through the spine and mobility through the spine. So this is a nice way to engage that fluidity. Nice flow of the body. Go ahead and finish after 3 more breaths. Taking your time, changing your wrist or hand position if you need to at any point. And when you're done, just come back to a stable or a stillness in a tabletop position like this. Tuck your toes under and start to sit back or just send the weight back like this until you can take your hands off the ground. I call this half hero, really to change the positioning of the hands. If you were in that forced flex position, let's do a counter stretch in the wrist by very gently pressing the top of the hand into the mat. I'm barely pressing, okay, just enough where, okay, I feel that, but not forcing this. So both sides, very gentle, okay? Alrighty, and then we'll move our blanket or towel out of the way so we can get ready for our next pose, downward facing dog. So just come back out to tabletop right here. We'll step the hands forward. As you do so, spread out your fingers pretty wide to create a strong base. Grip the mat with your fingertips. That'll take some of the pressure off of the wrists as well. A little lean or press of the palms into the ground, stretching open the palms. This is great for your hands. This should energize the arms as well. Let's tuck the toes again. Another cat-cow, starting with cow. That's the inhale, where we create the back bend. Exhale, round it out into cat. Hold cat for a second, using the toes, lifting the knees off the mat, lifting hips up into the air, making a little adjustments with the feet. I just took mine a little wider and a little closer to the hands. Strong, straight spine. Now just look straight down at the mat and start walking forward with the feet until your feet are perhaps underneath you or at least flat on the ground, and maybe slide your fingers toward your toes. This will put you in forward fold. Then inhale, slide your hands up the legs, perhaps to your knees or thighs, maybe here, and just until you're flat like a table. Okay, you're halfway folded, and that is the name of the pose. Okay, half forward fold. You're going to feel an energy moving through your tailbone or hips to the back of the room. Imagine the very top of your head, which I call the crown, moving directly forward. So that's still a continued lengthening through the spine in this tabletop position. You're inhaling to create that length, and exhale, continue to pull belly button up towards spine. Let's add another sensation here of just feeling the inner thighs squeeze in towards each other. Okay, they won't move, but just feel kind of an activation in the thighs. With that activation, push feet into the floor, straightening the legs. You're starting to stand up now, facing forward. Let's finish this straight line with a big stretch of the arms, both arms, up into the air like this. Then exhale, good. Bring your arms back down by your side. Well done. And once we're here, I like to think of this as the completion of a sequence, and then kind of shake it all out, knowing that that moment is in the past. We want to shake it loose, let it go, so we can get ready for the new moment. All right, we're going to do that same forward fold, halfway lift, and then come back up. Here we go. Inhale, spread your wings and reach out and up into the air, big stretch quality. Exhale, spread your wings, moving slowly, bend your knees, feel your hips shift back as if you're going to sit back into an imaginary chair. This also takes core strength and leg strength as you move in slow motion. Folding, let the head release, let the back round. Maybe your fingertips touch your toes or just your shins, that's fine. Inhale, slide your hands up the legs. We're going to hold here with our flat tabletop position, half forward fold. That same energetic lengthening through the spine as you inhale. Exhale, pull belly in. Activation of thighs as you're able, inner thighs. When I do that, I feel this in my hamstrings as well. So just be aware of how and where you feel this. A little shift of weight into the heels. Bend your knees, feel like you're going to sit down. Lift torso a little bit. Spread your wings. Inhale, drive the feet into the floor, energizing the legs as you stand up tall. Reach up into the air. Exhale, arms come back down by your side. Completion of that little sequence. Shake it all away. All right, let's go into our modified or variation of Warrior 1. Mountain pose is our starting point. Put a bend in the knees, keep that softness in your knees. Start shifting weight into your right foot, really plant it strongly. That should be another activation of that right leg, okay, the whole leg. Lean forward a tiny bit so you can start tapping the left foot back. Flex toes so the heel is lifted momentarily. We're going to pivot or turn the foot so you can just plant the whole foot down into the ground, centering yourself right here. Place your hands on your hips. Feel like you're pushing your pelvis downward as you get taller through the torso, a lengthened spine. That'll give you a little space to rotate a bit so you're facing mostly forward. Let's inhale, extend both arms up into the air. Exhale, bend elbows at a good 90 degrees. So a variation of our Warrior 1. It is a lunge, but of course we don't have too much distance between the feet, but just enough perhaps for us to stay balanced. Feel centered here. All right, we're going to inhale. Let's extend both arms straight up into the air. Exhale, bring the hands back down to hips. Lean forward, shifting weight into this front foot. Lift that back heel. Turn toes forward. Okay, this is kind of where we started. So we're just kind of doing it in reverse. Enough weight is forward in this front foot so you can just step or slide this left foot together here with the right. Stand up nice and tall. Let's go ahead and re-extend both arms up into the air. And exhale, arms back down by your side. You can just hold here in stillness or feel free to shake all that loose. Ready for the other side. Start with the softness in the knees. Shifting weight into left foot. Feel that connection. thigh, leg engagement. Lean forward slightly. Start sliding or tapping the right foot back. Flex toes, heel lifted. So at the moment all 10 toes are pointing forward, we'll return to this sensation when we're getting out of the posture. Turn or pivot that right foot, planting the heel into the ground so that foot naturally turns outward. Hopefully that feels natural for you. So you're nice and balanced here. Place hands on hips, push pelvis down as you extend and lengthen through the torso and spine, creating space in the waistline so you can face directly forward. Inhale, let's sweep the arms out and up into the air, straight line. Exhale, bend elbows 90 degrees. So we're still facing forward. We have this goalpost shape in the arms. Maybe some more deep breaths, holding in stillness. It's a nice check-in with the breath here, still maintaining that sense of ease and calm. Let's inhale to re-extend the arms straight up into the air. Exhale, bring arms down, hands to hips. Here, start leaning forward, a little shift of weight, returning to the left foot. Let's pivot that right foot, heel lifted. Again, all 10 toes pointing forward like we did earlier. Step forward, feet together. Let's stand up tall, sweeping arms out and up, reaching up a little higher as you're able. Exhale, arms down by your side as we return to stillness. Feel free to shake all that out as you'd like. Good. Feel free to get a sip of water. I'm going to adjust my mat quickly, and we'll get ready for our flow. Whenever you're ready, just make your way back to mountain pose. Taking a breath here, and then we'll move. Inhale, sweep out and up with the arms. Exhale, spread your wings, weight shift into the heels, bend your knees, sit back into the imaginary chair. Take your time, and you don't have to fold all the way down. Maybe your hands land at your shins or just below the knees. That's what I'm doing at the moment. Inhale, slide the hands up the legs to help extend the spine, nice and long and flat. Now here we're going to exhale, bend, fold, let the back round. Let the head drop, getting low enough until you can bring your hands to the floor in front of your feet or toes and start walking both feet back to the back end of your mat, ending in a high plank position right here. Straight line through the spine. You can keep the hips slightly lifted. Breathe in. Exhale, bend your knees like you're about to kneel down, but instead lift the hips up into the air, creating this little mountain shape or an inverted V shape. Hold for a moment, good strength in the hands and arms. Now we're going to inhale and lift the right foot and extend it back behind us. Just in the air, it can be parallel with the floor, that's fine. Exhale, we're going to bend this right knee. Bring the right knee in underneath you towards your chest, shifting your whole upper body forward. Your shoulders will be aligned right over your wrists. Set your left foot down. You'll be on your toes, flexed foot. Set the left knee down. So we're just kneeling for a moment. That way you can take your right hand, go get your right foot, pick it up and place it up a little higher on your mat. Nice little trick there in case you can't get the foot all the way up to the top of the mat. Relift left knee. Feel how the weight is still forward. We're going to plant that left heel down like we did in the earlier version of this. You might step your hands back, shifting weight of the body back so it feels more secure in your back foot. Then elongate your torso, your spine, straight out over your right thigh. You're almost resting on the thigh. That should allow you to lift the hands, reach out and up, standing up, rising up so you're facing forward, arms straight up into the air, and just lunge. So this is our second variation of Warrior One. Different sensation, more distance between the feet, of course. Arms are a little bit straighter. Perhaps a sensation of a left hip flexor stretch. Let's breathe in. And exhale, turn your torso towards the left side of the room as your arms come down to parallel, right about there, horizontal to the ground. Nice knee bend. Just want to make sure your knee isn't jetting way out past your toes. Mine is slightly, maybe just over the heel. That works fine. Just being aware that your knee and toes are pointing forward. All right, we're going to reach forward just to angle the upper half of the body. Again, I'm not putting any pressure in this knee. It's just a shift of the upper body. Let's bend the right arm at 90 degrees. Rotate until I can bring this right arm, forearm, down to mid-thigh. Left hand, as you're able, reaching straight up. If this elbow needs to soften or bend, that's fine like that, okay? You just want to feel kind of pretty sideways, facing your left side of the room. really opening up. Good stretch and opening for the body. Let's breathe in. I'm going to exhale and carefully now turn torso so it's facing forward and down. Fold and bend so you can bring your hands back down to the ground. Spin on those toes behind you so the heel is lifted. I call this a runner's lunge. Putting more pressure into the mat with the hands so you can transfer that weight into the hands, sliding the right foot back so you're in plank pose again. Soften the knees like you're going to kneel, send hips up into the air, or return to downward facing dog. Let's go ahead and do the other side. Let's inhale to extend left leg up into the air. It does not have to lift high. Exhale, bend your left knee like you're going to kick yourself with your heel perhaps. Bringing the left knee in underneath you towards your chest or chin, shifting so your shoulders are over your wrist. Set this left foot down or step forward to left hand if you're able. Otherwise, set right knee down. So we can go get that left foot, pick it up, and place it up a little higher. Relift the right knee. Weight is forward perhaps. Let's feel that transfer of weight. Pivot, right heel to the floor, step the hands back so you can get more weight into that back foot easily. Extending your torso long out over left thigh, resting on the thigh perhaps. Then you can hinge from hips and rise straight up like you're opening the lid of a box. Arms out and up into the air. That's an inhale. Exhale, you might lunge and kind of settle into the pose. So you're facing forward. We have a nice lunge. Left knee and toes pointing forward. Right hip flexor stretch occurring here. Make sure there's still good pressure in that back foot. We'll inhale here. Exhale, turn torso now to the right side of the room. Arms come down to parallel. Now you may need to adjust your feet mainly for balance. But because of the adjustment we did earlier, maybe you're right in the perfect spot. Checking in with left knee and toes, pointing directly forward. Knee is nicely aligned over heel or ankle. Just an upper body shift as we reach forward. Let's angle or bend the left elbow. Bring the left forearm to mid-thigh. Right hand reaching straight up. Bend the elbow if you need to. Other things you could do with this right arm that's in the air, you can even reach behind you. Okay, back over that right leg, or even bring right hand to right hip. You don't necessarily have to bring this right arm up into the air. Perhaps just being mindful of your shoulder. Maybe your shoulder's a little sensitive today, so just be mindful of that. Okay, let's breathe in. Exhale, let's turn. Fold carefully. Hands to the ground, plant them. Spin on the toes behind you, lifting that back heel, runner's lunge. More pressure into the ground with the hands, strong arms, so you can slide left foot back, plank pose, hold. Let's bring knees to the ground. Tuck toes, so you can sit back to half hero. Right here, let's do that same gentle stretch of the top of the hand. I'm just doing 3 exhales, just a little press, not too hard on both hands. So you can just create a little rhythm for yourself there, whatever feels good. Then we're just going to sit. So just sit off to the side here so you can swing the legs around to the front. Make sure you sit in the center of your mat here. Grab your blocks or books. We're going to move into our supported bridge pose in a moment, our back bend. So we'll have the blocks nearby. Sitting in the center of your mat, go ahead and lie down. You're going to lie down with knees bent, feet flat on the ground. Here we want nice alignment as well. So your shins are straight up and down. Another alignment of your knees stacked nicely over your heels or ankles. That'll give you good leverage. Just to help you lift when you lift your hips up into the air eventually. Take a couple breaths, just deep cleansing breaths, just to check in with the body. We've already done some engaging movement. So when we return from that tense body to that relaxed body. Something that you can do every day, even if you're not literally practicing yoga on a yoga mat. But if you find yourself, catch yourself sometime during the day, just a little tense, maybe just take a couple breaths and see if you can actually feel that release of the tension from your body. All right, whenever you're ready, and exhale, pressing feet into the ground so you can lift your hips, slide your books or blocks underneath you, and then just sit on your blocks. And just hold here, make any adjustments with your feet for stability. maybe your upper body. I like to get my shoulders a little bit underneath. What I do is I really just kind of spin my palms up, which rotates the shoulders back and kind of underneath. So that's a way that you can kind of get the shoulders kind of underneath you. Just spin the palms up. It gets a outer spiral or outer rotation in the shoulders, which may allow the chest to open up a bit more. And while you're here, just some deep breathing. You can be fully relaxed here, since you don't have to engage too much. A nice counter pose to all the sitting that you may be doing throughout the day. We're going to do something we did in another practice where we're doing our glute activation. We're going to do that once again here, since we're thinking about leg strength. We're going to be doing some deep lunges as well. So this is really optional today if it feels okay. So what we'll do, we'll take a nice full breath in, fill up the lungs. Exhale, engage belly, engage the feet, pressing feet into the floor. Lift your hips just up off your books or blocks and see if you can hold that. We'll do a countdown from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then just sit back down onto the blocks. Doing that, you really activate your glutes, and then your entire legs, thighs, hamstrings, and all the supporting muscles. Take another deep breath in and out, and we're ready to come out of the pose. Another press into the floor with the feet, lift hips. Let's remove the blocks quickly, and then slowly lower your weight back down. Let's extend the legs out front. Maybe reach your arms behind you. Another nice stretch for the body. All right, hug both knees into chest. We're going to start rocking forward and back. Now, you can do this to sit up, which we are going to be doing. If rocking up or rocking forward to sit up is not in your wheelhouse today, maybe your back is a little sensitive, feel free just to roll to your side like I am at the moment. Use your hands and help press yourself up. So let's just rock our way up or press ourselves up to seated. Let's just come to our version of boat like we like to do in soft flow. Bent knees, flexed feet, just to keep the legs active. So flex your feet, good knee bend. Hold on to the bends of the knees and sit up as tall as you can, as if you're sitting up against a wall. We're going to inhale, lift nice and long through the spine. Exhale, engage core. Imagine your wall disappeared, and you're just going to lean back right there. Just a little bit is fine. That way we can hold this for a good period of time. Feeling the energized legs and the energized core, your center body. To add more to this, if you want, you can always lean back a little bit more, or even release the legs and reach forward. That's just to add those little touches to the posture if you want to challenge yourself, knowing that you can always kind of keep it at 60, 50%, but if you want to maybe dial it up to 65 or 70%, you can always go a little deeper. 2 more breaths. Again, not forcing or pushing our bodies into something that doesn't feel natural at the moment, because our bodies, of course, change and shift constantly. We're going to rise back up. Okay, lean to the side so you can kind of swing the legs back behind you, just returning 2 hands and knees. Let's do 3 breaths, cat and cow, like we did earlier. That same undulation of the spine, keeping that nice fluidity through the spine. We're going to get ready for a deep lunge here in a moment. It's a nice stretch there too. When you get into cat pose, what I like to do is not only draw belly button up towards spine, but just feel the active broadening of the back. That feels so nice. All right, when you're done, you're just going to tuck toes, maybe lean back or sit back, getting weight off the hands into our half hero that I like to call it. And then maybe have your blocks nearby, but you may want to bring your blanket or towel back out in front here, because we're going to be on our knees. And I'm going to unfold mine here, I think. Like this, so it's not too thick, and actually kneel on it, okay? Like this. So just get on your blanket. So we're here, and I'm going to use my blocks kind of like walking sticks or just ways to like get myself up. So you can just kind of use that That's very nice. Nice little tool to use. And I'm also going to use my blocks for a little stability because I'm going to step the right foot forward. If you just can't pick up the knee and foot and step it forward, you may want to lean over to your left side. I'm just using the blocks so I don't have to go down too low. So I can just step this right foot forward, okay? So we're going to end up here, nice and tall. Now we're going to be doing our hip stretch or our leg stretch, our deep lunges. From here, we're also going to do our leg strength in this posture as well. But let's start with the stretch. So we've got these nice L shapes in both legs. But we're going to move this right foot forward, maybe out to the edge of your mat, maybe even off the mat a little bit, so it changes this angle. Okay, I'm going to lengthen my foot back there to stretch the top of my foot. Placing both hands on your thigh, just push gently into the thigh to help you extend spine, growing tall. That's an inhale. And exhale, start to lunge or hinge forward like this. And you can see how your knee moves and it will start to align over your heel or ankle. And we never really want to leave that alignment so we don't put any extra pressure on the knee. If you know that you want to go lower and deeper, then you may want to maybe wiggle your foot farther forward so you can get a little bit deeper into this left hip flexor. Again, you don't have to force this lunge. I'm even going to use my blocks and kind of lean into the blocks a little bit, okay? This way, when I'm at an angle with the upper body, it takes some of the strain out of my low back, because when we're nice and tall like this, it is a back bend, a natural back bend, but you don't have to be in that back bend. So you can be here, using blocks or books, turn them a little lower to go a little lower. These are all optional, okay? Remember, see if you can maintain your 60% workout here. This feels just about right. I think I dialed mine up to about a 65, a 68%, because I feel this, but I don't think I can hold this, really long, but I can hold this. Since I've got the support of the blocks, I feel quite lifted. I'm not in the deepest lunge that I can get into, but I certainly feel this. So that's all the assessment that is going on in your head, perhaps. Or just be here and breathe with it. You might even feel the body just kind of sink. Now, we are here a long time. If you kind of hit the time allotted for your own body to be in this pose, then start to come out of the posture. You don't have to hold it too long, especially if your body feels like it's starting to get a little stressed while being here. And I'm noticing that's happening in my body. So I'm just going to start to ease up and out. So I'm coming up, shifting the weight back, getting out of that deep lunge, using my blocks to help support my body as I lift, even sliding this right foot back a little bit, yes. And so I've returned to my right angle. Now we're going to go for the strength. We do need to tuck toes behind us here. We're going to be lifting, okay, the knee off the floor. Now we need some more engagement. So this is going to take a lot of strength. We won't hold this very long. We're going to inhale, just watch or just listen. We're going to inhale just to fill ourselves up with breath. We're going to exhale and feel the inner thighs squeeze in towards each other and pull belly in to really engage the legs, alrighty? And the arms will actually go up on the inhale. So you can watch me first. Let me move this block out of the way. Let's inhale, reach up if you want to go with me. Exhale, hug, squeeze in tight, lift back knee just barely off the floor. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower it back down. There it is. We're going to do that one more time, okay? And if you didn't do it, let's go ahead and do this together, okay? We're going to inhale, just take the arms up, fill yourself up. Exhale, squeeze, engage, feel that muscle engagement. Lift left knee, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then softly lower. Okay, let's come back to both knees. I'm stepping the right foot back, knees. You know what, let's take child's pose. That was a lot of activation. Let's take the knees a little wider here. Sit back. You can sit back all the way down if that feels okay on the knees and ankles, or just a partial, even tucked up onto your toes. Arms can come down to the ground here like this. And just soften, release, and let go. That took or created a lot of tension. Okay, just activation of the body. So we want to feel that flip side. Feel the release and relax feeling. Deep breaths, calm and feeling at ease. 3 more breaths. After the 3rd breath, moving in slow motion, just want to maintain this ease in the body. Coming back up. If your knees went far apart, just bring them together again underneath you. Tuck toes, sit back half hero, so you can rise back up onto the knees. If you're using those blocks, I think this is a great tool. So I'm going to do the same thing, leaning off to my right side. So I can step this left foot forward, right about there, like that, nice and tall. I'm going to keep these here. Maybe flatten that back foot if you'd like. We are going to move this left foot forward. Can you see this? Moving this left foot forward, way out front. Way out there, because we're going to go for our lunge. Placing both hands on this left thigh. Inhale, nice and tall through the torso. Exhale, start to lunge. Maybe just a little bit at a time. Pause until you feel like your body, is engaging. It feels something. Let it get used to it. Maybe a few breaths. And then going a little deeper. Maybe you're only at 40% right here. Inhale, exhale, going a little deeper. I did move this left foot forward so I can get a little deeper without aggravating the knee. Remember, the taller you are and the deeper you are in the lunge, you're going to create more of a back bend. And you don't necessarily need to have that, okay, unless you would like to. That's fine. Using the blocks again, just leaning forward to get out of that low back sensation. This feels great. I'm about 50% right here. This feels so good right here. I am going to go a little deeper. Once my body gets used to this position, you don't want to put your body into shock by going too fast or quickly into the pose, even though you may have been here before, okay? You may be very familiar, but still, let's take our time with it. So I'm going a little lower. I'm going to sink into this a little deeper. Right about here for me. Really pay attention. This is a good 60% for me. I don't feel like I'm pushing it too hard. Listen and respond appropriately. Wherever you are, can you still take deep breaths? While in stillness, some wonderful work is happening. Stretching, releasing, letting go, just getting into parts of self that maybe we're not even aware of. Sometimes we have a time limit on some of our postures, and when we go over that time, the body starts to react rather than respond. And the reaction is more like a stress response, and you want to get out, okay? Now, sometimes we can kind of breathe through that, okay? But it's perfectly fine, especially in this class, to start to back out of it. You don't have to stay here. Okay, I can start to feel my body react to the pose. So I'm going to start to pull up, shift back, getting out of that deep sensation, using my blocks, coming all the way back up. And sliding this left foot back a little bit. So we've returned to the 90 degrees with the legs. Nice and tall here. We're going to go for our strength. So we're going to tuck the toes behind us because we're going to be lifting. Okay, we'll do this together. We are going to do it twice, okay? You can do it once if you want or twice with me. Let's inhale, take both arms up. Fill your lungs. Exhale, engage legs, belly, and arms. Then lift back knee. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Softly land, bring the arms down. Could you feel that in your right thigh, maybe even your front thigh, activating so you can lift yourself up? We need that core engagement too. Here comes that second round. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, engage, squeeze to center, then lift back knee. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and softly land. Even that short period of time, I can feel the leg shake. Could you feel your leg shake? Alrighty. I'm going to take my blocks again, lean to the right. Let's set the left foot and knee back. Let's go ahead and do another child's pose. Knees wide, sit back. I'm going to go a little deeper. Again, you don't have to take the hips all the way down, but if you'd like to, you can sit all the way back and down. I usually like to bring a block in front to rest my forehead here. Deep cleansing breaths. After the tension, the work, the activation, let the body settle, rest, relax. Deep cleansing breaths. Let's go ahead and take 3 more breaths. Still holding here in stillness. And then carefully and slowly rising back up to hands and knees. You might crawl off of that blanket or towel that you're using. Let's set it to the side. Come back out to your mat, hands and knees. Another round of cat and cow. Let's maintain that nice fluidity through the spine. Do as many as you'd like. Take your time with these. Always nice too at times, maybe holding the pose. You might hold your back bend for a couple more extra seconds. Same with the cat pose, rounding it out, holding, broadening the back. Finish the breath that you're on. Take 1 more. Let's sit back, getting off the hands. Here's hero, but then sliding off the feet onto the mat. Swing the legs around to the front. Sit in the center of your mat. Carefully roll your way down. You can same thing. You can even just kind of roll to your side like this and lie down if that feels much better, okay? If that's more comfortable for the body. Once you're down, same thing. Let's start with knees bent, feet flat on the ground. Let your whole body, your whole back body really, connect to the earth. Maybe your arms are down by your side as well. Some deep breathing. Alrighty, we're going to do a familiar pose, but just what's slightly different. First, extend your left leg straight out on the floor. You can even relax the leg. You can flex the foot if you want, but you can even just let that whole leg relax. Hug right knee in. Catch it in your hands. A gentle hold. Drawing the knee up towards chest or shoulder, not forcing it. And then out to the side a little bit, just kind of swinging the leg out to the side a bit, flexing the right foot. We're going to half happy baby pose. And actually, you can stay just like this for the posture. Or if you're able, just kind of kick that foot up towards ceiling. As you're able, take right hand, reach, and grab hold of the bottom of the foot and gently press down. I like to extend my left arm out to the left side. It just helps me balance this pose, since we're only working one leg at a time. Now, if this feels a little bit too deep, you can always release the foot. Maybe just hold on to the ankle so you don't have to bend the knee so much or get too strongly in the hip. This is a nice alternative, actually. Or you can keep that knee very bent and still get into the hip and inner thigh. So some nice variations. How about 3 more breaths on this first side? When you feel complete, we'll release the foot, extend the leg out front. Hold here in this preview to Shavasana. Take a breath or 2. Everything's nicely relaxed. The right leg will stay on the floor. You can even flex the foot to activate the leg, which will actually help stabilize the body if you want. This is an option today as well. Or keep that leg relaxed. Now we'll hug left knee in, catch it in your hands. A gentle drawing of the knee towards chest and shoulder, and then slightly to the left side to help open up. And this too, again, could be the end of the pose, staying here. or kicking the foot up, maybe grabbing hold of the shin or ankle for the happy baby, or if you're able, holding onto the bottom of the foot and gently pressing down. That'll provide more sensation for sure. So just kind of check in to feel what you need or want. Again, I'm reaching my right arm out to the right side to maintain balance in this pose. It's a great stretch. Getting into the legs a little bit. Deep breathing. Even imagine you're sending breath to those sensations that you are stretching or working. Providing good oxygen and blood flow. Let's go ahead and take 3 more breaths. After the 3rd breath, let's release, extend the leg onto the floor out front. Our second preview of Shavasana, let everything soften. It's also an opportunity to realign. Now, are your blocks still handy? Can you grab them? You're going to go back to our bridge pose. So you're going to bend your knees, feet flat on the ground, hold for a moment. Whenever you're ready, an inhale to fill up lungs, exhale to engage core, lifting hips, slide blocks underneath you. It could just be 1 this time if you want. And then take a seat. So back to our bridge pose. If you want, you can do the turning of the palms up, which creates an outer spiral of the shoulders, gets the arms a bit underneath you. Now we're just here briefly because we're actually going to extend the legs up into the air. So we're taking an inverted pose. So taking one leg up and then the other. Now I'm sitting on two blocks stacked. You can also do this on 1 block or no blocks, or maybe you want something softer underneath you, perhaps a pillow or a cushion or even just a rolled up towel. That works just fine. I like the elevation of the hips when I take the legs up. For some reason it just feels a little bit more comfortable. Now the legs are pretty activated and they have to be activated to stay up in the air like this, but you can soften a little or a lot and add some movement. Maybe creating some bicycle pedaling, any kind of movement you want really. I'll just throw out some options. I typically do a little bicycle pedaling to get into the hips, knees and ankles. I like to circle the ankles, getting into the feet, wiggle my toes. Maybe extending the legs and take them out wide. Okay, ooh, nice stretch for the inner legs and back up, and even crossing the legs, which gets in the outer hips. Again, any point, you can always set the feet back down onto the floor. You might even just place 1 foot on the ground and extend 1 leg for a nice hamstring stretch. Just kind of play with this. So really no script as to what you need to do here. A little more ad-libbing, okay? Just whatever you would like to do. Or it comes naturally, without even thinking. Just let the body move. Maybe 3 more breaths. After your 3rd breath, just bend your knees, place your feet back down onto the floor. Good connection to the ground. So you can press feet into the ground, lifting hips to remove your blocks or pillow, whatever you've got there, and come back down safely. Let's go ahead and hug both knees into chest. Maybe a few circles here. I like this to help massage my low back. Let's do a quick twist. So let's send both knees over to the left side. Carefully though, take your time with that. And extend your right arm off to the right side, creating that rotation in the spine. Settle in for maybe 5 deep breaths. After that 5th breath, take your time. You can stay here longer if you want. Otherwise, return to center, pause and center as everything realigns. And then knees to the right side when you're ready. Feel that rotation, completing the rotation as you extend left arm to the left side of the room. A deep breath to help you settle. Two more breaths. And then slowly and carefully return to center. Hug the knees in and just take a moment here and just decide what you would like to do next. We have for the next few minutes here to really come to the closure of our practice. So if there's any other movements you'd like to do here, please feel to introduce them here or repeat some poses that we've already done. Or if you're ready to move into Shavasana, just go ahead and extend the legs out onto the floor, arms down by your side, palms up. Just melt into the ground. If you need a little extra support, bring in your blanket or pillows, cushions, whatever you've got for a nice restorative position so you feel completely relaxed. Just feel yourself settle into place, find stillness. Maybe close your eyes or just gaze softly upward. Noticing your breath. These slow, deep breaths. Perhaps they match the breath work you did at the beginning of your practice. Knowing that you perhaps maintained this ease and calm throughout your practice today. Feel free to stay here as long as you'd like. Even as I end the practice, you're welcome to stay right here. And when it is time to move, start with breath. So maybe 5 slow, deep breaths. Feeling this new energy surge through your body, creating movement in the body. And then sometime after your 5th breath, moving in slow motion, roll carefully onto one side of your body. Pause for a moment here in this nurturing pose. Using a new breath and perhaps your hands to help press and lift yourself up. Perhaps sitting on a pillow or blanket. Extending the spine, sitting up as tall as you can. Arms relaxed by your side, hands resting in your lap. Take a nice full breath in and out. And then one more movement together. Let's inhale, extend the arms out and up, reaching nice and high. As you exhale, bring your palms together and down to your heart space. Finding stillness, taking one more breath. As we come to the close of this portion of our journey together, we bow, saying, Namaste.